All right, folks, we are back. It's time for another Starbase Summary. You know the rules. We see how much I was paying attention to Starbase Live this week and all the social media accounts and that sort of stuff as we check in on the progress towards the next flight of Starship. Pick it back up. They got rid of that Trident vent. Say that 10 times fast. A little three-pronged. Is it really a prong if it's a tube? I'm not sure, but they took it off the tower. And we thought that might have been the reason, or something at least, related to that aborted/scrubbed wet dress rehearsal that occurred. But here we are following a new vent up the tower. Doesn't have the tri-vent design anymore, but they're just going to bloop, put this thing in. I saw some speculation that potentially this had something to do with too many vapors, let's say vapors, blowing back into the tower. So is this longer? Was there ice buildup in the part of the Trident thing that was causing it to get less flow than it needed? Not entirely sure what the specific issue was there. But we did see them replace that pipe, and then they got right back into it with another wet dress rehearsal. So that's what we've got coming up here shortly. Going to see some crews working in the QD arm at night with their flashlights here. I don't think we can see. Can we see? I mean, they're looking. They got headlamps on. They're looking at some stuff. Those are some gauges or something it looked like there. We're just checking things out before the wet dress rehearsal. A lot of cool nighttime views, and yeah, here we go. We'll get into the wet dress rehearsal. So you can see they're behind the H in rehearsal. That'll clear out real quick, and there's that new vent that they installed. Wind direction also playing a big deal as to whether or not the vapors blow back into the tower or through the tower or whatever. But before this happens, we see the vehicle stands. This first one's going to be the booster stand going past, and then the ship stand going past there. And they park those back up Highway 4 ways, and then we get right into the full WDR, the wet dress rehearsal. Remember, if you're a fan of rockets, but you maybe don't know what wet dress rehearsal means, they're doing everything except lighting the engines and launching the rockets. Do you see how they're filling up the rocket with propellants there? You can see the frost going up, and all of the propellants, both the methane and the liquid oxygen that they would need for flight. It's basically... Well, it's a rehearsal. It's a dress rehearsal. They're doing everything that they would do on flight day, stepping through all the things. And maybe they wouldn't fly that drone so close, but just going through all of the different processes, practices, procedures, pushing the propellants through the lines with the pumps that they're going to be needed to do on launch day, like the whole shooting match, right? They're just getting all of the kinks out before they actually go for launch. In fact, oh, wow! No way. Is that that's the stack contracting? There was significant vertical movement there, and I guarantee you that it wasn't the launch mount going up and down. That was zoomed in on the ship QD there. Scroll back and watch that a few times. That was showing the change in the size of the vehicle whenever it gets loaded with propellants. I'm going to guess that it contracts a little bit because of the cold temperatures. I don't know if it's as much compression due to the weight, but that is crazy to see. This is also kind of crazy to see. The new hot staging strut ring here. You could actually see those RVACs up in there. And what a beautiful day it was for the wet dress rehearsal. I mean, look at the blue skies behind there. We've got the time lapse of all this stuff happening all the way over here. Look at Gage tossing in the American flag shot with the tank farm just going crazy in the background there. Down low, you'll see the DSS activation. That's in the bottom of the launch mount, the detonation suppression system, flowing some nitrogen and oxygen, nitrogen and water, actually, misting through there to get rid of the concentration of methane or oxygen that may have built up. There was a bottom deluge activation. It wasn't the top deck. We didn't see the big water feature on the top, but that was just the bottom, and they stopped just a couple seconds shy of activating that top deck and actually lighting the entire rocket. So that was the wet dress rehearsal. Looks like it went swimmingly. Yeah, yes, the cloud, yes. Look at the Gulf in the background and the clouds bubbling up off the Gulf. That's just a cool shot. On the side, we've got the frost melting off, running down the sides there, as you do. There goes our favorite low polygon vehicle. You can actually see the stand parked in the highway there on the lower left of your screen. You see the stand? Now, interestingly, that you may have gotten a road open notification and these things continue to sit in the road for a while. Like, is the road really open if that thing is completely blocking the road? Good question. That's above my pay grade, or it's at least beside my pay grade. I don't want to answer it right now. Got a couple zooms in. Of course, this is approaching the pad. I believe we're after the wet dress rehearsal here. The sun does look like it's going down from this perspective. Getting that sort of more golden light behind Colleen's shot here. A couple zoom ins on the test tile. This is the back, the leeward side of the flap, the anti-entry. I don't know, come up with a new way to say that. It's like Hubbard and rimward, whatever. There's some nighttime show. Oh, this is actually all the way over on the side. Nice. A little bit of a time lapse here. There was the ship QD coming back, folding up. They put the steps up there so that they could close off the ports on the side of the ship. Put the little FOD covers on there to make sure everything's good to go. Take the air stairs back. Full speed disconnect test. Not entirely sure. It did say that was done after the initial disconnect, but maybe they were cleaning things up, or maybe they were adjusting something, like they weren't putting in the FOD covers that first time I saw them up there messing around. I wonder. This little door slamming shut. Interesting. Let me know down below. Again, I'm not sitting here like, oh yeah, I know everything. I'm the smartest person ever who knows every single thing. No, I just think this is super interesting to watch and sort of figure out what's going on. We used to call it roadside rocket science. So, let's see here. We're destacking. Okay. Saw the ship come up. Then we saw the ship QD arm swing out of the way. And then the ship, carried by the chopsticks, of course, swinging to the other side here. Going to take it on down the tower and put it on the transport stand. Very cool. This is, of course, sped up a little bit. This is not real time. You can tell because the star is wheeling in the background there. God, even that's a vibe, isn't it? Like just sort of the straw color. Like it's just that camera, right? It's because the lighting and the white balance on that camera just made it have that sort of straw colored, like the temper colors, almost as if it had already flown. Then here on Colleen's camera, you have a much cleaner shot with, we should probably say, proper white balance, as opposed to those 24/7 cameras that have been beat all to heck by the beach out there. Here's Ship 39 coming back. That's the Star Factory and office building on the side. Cool reflection there. Look how tiny that sheriff's vehicle and the Cybertrucks are. It almost looks like you drive the Cybertruck underneath the center of the SPMTs there, like below the rocket. I don't know if it would quite fit. It'd be close. Had to let some air out of the tires to make it fit. But bypassing the two massive Gigabay doors there, and it's going to take a right here at Albuquerque and head back in. Now, there have been some very interesting closures popping up over at Massey's, and it looks like Ship 39 is not entirely 100% cleared for flight yet. Thinking that there might be some more testing happening here. We've been talking about this on Raptor Sides. We've been talking about it over on social media, but we do expect that there is some more testing possibly involved with Massey's over there. I hope I need to check Starbase Live and make sure that the ship hasn't like rolled to Massey's already or something. Anyways, so we will expect that. Looks like it's probably a fast turnaround. Get it over there, do the final test that they think they need to do just to fully certify that ship. Again, they want to get this one right. They've been stood down for months here as they... do you really want to call it stood down? I mean, they were creating the new version. The version 3s, Pad 2, like all of the new stuff. Not entirely starting from scratch, but definitely starting from a... if not a green field, like a what would you say, a slightly brown field? That doesn't make any sense. The green field already has some grass and some shrubberies growing into it. We're not quite to trees or sequoias or anything like that yet, but we've got a nice green field that's had some shrubberies sort of scattered about. Maybe a nice little path in there. So back over this way, we've got Booster 19 being lifted off the pad as well. You can see some of that speed tape came off Chine on the right-hand side there. The tape looks a little bit little ragged. That's okay. They temporarily put some of that tape on there just to get through the testing. That might be some of the final things that happen with the booster, but that's not like a valve system or a propellant line or a computer or an engine or anything like that. It's literally a covering for a hole. So that's probably significantly less critical than some of the more critical components that you could find. Oh, that's cool. Find on the rocket. Look at all the... Well, now they need to point those... They need to come up with a consistent way of painting those numbers so that like all the numbers are pointing out or something. I'm looking at the plumbing there and seeing... Sometimes it's painted underneath the port that sort of goes there to the collar around the bell, right? And sometimes it's painted on the opposite side from that. Standardization, how does it work? It's just cool that the engines are just numbered. It's like engine 99. That's how many engines we have on this thing. This, of course, is going down into the booster transport stand here. And then we're going to roll booster 19 back over to the production side. We'll put them in the barn for just a couple days to get updated on nice Gateway to Mars, to get updated looking at that potential launch date. Notices we're coalescing around the 19th next week. In a specific note there, the 19th is sort of the beginning of the week. As you get into the weekend, we're going to be coming up on Memorial Day. Memorial Day? Yeah, it's not Labor Day. That's in September. Oh, nice. The camera watching it go. We're going to be coming up on that holiday weekend, so it looks like with that try at the start of the week, or Tuesday, maybe it's not going to go Tuesday, maybe it's going to go Wednesday, maybe it's going to go Thursday, but they're giving themselves a couple of shots before the holiday weekend. Personally, and I don't have any super secret info on this, but personally I don't know that they'd push it on the holiday weekend. They may come back from the holiday and do it if they don't get it going. But they have given themselves a couple days there before the Memorial Day weekend to get this flight off the pad. We will certainly see how that shapes up, especially if we've got the ship headed back out for one little tiny final round of testing. We will see exactly how that shakes out. Yeah, see here from this perspective, this is the booster, not the ship, but I'm pretty sure you couldn't fit a Cybertruck through there. I don't even think that Tundra would fit through there unless they fooled me because they made the Tacomas look a lot like the Tundras. I guess they charge the same for them. They might as well make them look the same, huh? They get the same gas mileage. They cost almost the same. Make them look the same. Who cares? All right, folks, my name is John. If I respond to you down in the comments, I probably sign it DOS. I sit here, I watch the video, I talk about things I think are interesting. Hopefully y'all do the same. I'm going to be trying to head out there for the flight as long, if they get going next week, as well as some of the rest of the NSF team. But that's going to do it for this Starbase summary. Appreciate you watching, and we will see you next time.